This is one of those videos that you're going to want to stick around for the entire thing because there's so much to cover. But Pierre Poilievre finally stood up to Justin Trudeau and the woke agenda of removing parental rights. This is groundbreaking because a lot of conservative people or anti-Trudeau people, just people that hate what's going on and hate the leadership, have been teeter-tottering between where do they stand politically. Obviously, conservatives have a major lead and they seem to be the lesser of two evils. So naturally, everyone's gravitating towards the most popular thing, which is Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party of Canada. But a really big issue is his lack of being vocal about parental rights, specifically the Leave Alone protest, or also known as, I think, majorly known as the 1 million March for Children protest that happened across so many different cities in Canada. And well, Pierre Poilievre finally broke his silence and stood up to Justin Trudeau and is standing with parents, and it's strategic. So a lot of people don't really like that it's taken him this long, but at the same time, he spoke up about it. Welcome back to another video, everybody. This brings me great joy to finally deliver you this news. Before we get into it, I encourage you to give a like and subscribe if you haven't yet already. You're going to want to stick around for towards the end of the video where we're actually going to take a look at Pierre Poilievre, what he had to say. But just to kind of recap everything, we're going to take a look at the footage of the 1 million March protest and things leading up to that, and to why it took so long for Pierre Poilievre to actually make a decision. We actually have a never really seen before video, Pierre Poilievre being interviewed about this specific protest. But first, a word from today's sponsor. I want to thank today's sponsor, Private Internet Access. We've teamed up together and PIA is willing to offer my audience 83% off by using code SUNSHINE. Now, here in Canada with Justin Trudeau in power, not only is he kind of like a communist dictator, but he's also censoring the internet, which is why you need a VPN to encrypt yourself and be able to bounce around different geolocations to really mask your not only digital footprint, but to mask your identity, because right now it's hard enough as it is to even get the news. That's right. Bill C-18 prevents users, everyday people such as yourself, myself, from accessing simple information that is our freedom of rights to information here in Canada. If you go on Facebook, you currently can't even see Canadian news. It's wild, and who knows what's next. Maybe he's going to ban everything with Google, maybe here on YouTube. So you need to cover yourself and protect yourself with a VPN such as Private Internet Access. And what better way to do that here in Canada than having 83% off? The link for that is down in the description below, as well as the pinned comment. Use code SUNSHINE with Private Internet Access for 83% off. Thank you, Private Internet Access, for sponsoring today's video. Now we're going to take a look at some of the footage of the protest so that we are all caught up to speed. A lot of today's footage is coming from Karima on Twitter. I highly recommend you go check her out and give her a follow. She's got so many awesome clips and is a very intellectual person. She's also part of the founders that blew the lid off of the Hate Gate series here in Canada, which is like one of the most controversial things. I did make a video about that. You can scroll down and see it. Yeah, here we go.
And the Movement Defense Committee right over here. Electronic whistle. Gigi likes to use that as a weapon.
This is insane. This is considered a weapon, or at least it should be. You should not be allowed to use this. This electronic whistle, the decibels are so high that it can mess up your hearing. It's a weapon. It's like, this should be considered, if it isn't already, some sort of form of assault, because that's messed up, man. To just bring that around and have that walking around the street and using it in a malicious way. It's not to call your dog back. It's not to just blow a whistle. It's to hurt somebody else and drown out somebody else. So obviously this is the majority of the reaction from these counter protesters and the this whole protest has been very confusing for a lot of people. This isn't anti-gay. This isn't anti-LGBTQ. It's about leaving the kids alone. Why are you trying to indoctrinate children into SOGI, which is sexual orientation, gender, ideologies? That's what SOGI stands for. You're trying to teach kids about all the different pronouns, which is an inconclusive amount of pronouns. Is confusing kids. Let the children have innocence. They only have innocence for so long. So it's very weird that you have all of these counter protesters that likely probably don't even really have children. At least the majority of them don't. And they're very mean and angry.
Fuck you!
Keep the swearing down. So you see these red hats, you're going to want to pay attention to that because right now you have Josh Alexander's brother, Nicholas Alexander, who got arrested, and this is the crowd's reaction. Leave the kids alone. Leave the kids alone. And then everyone starts chanting, shame on you, shame on you. And just so you have an idea of what this kid looked like, we're going to get to that in a moment. But this is the rest of the Save Canada crew just talking about the situation.
They hauled them away. They're going to be staying overnight, it seems, maybe even longer. But that's as much as we have right now. They won't let me see them. I'm just trying to get the number of our lawyers for both of them.
So, people here are saying Nick pulled a Ric Flair. You might be young for Ric Flair, but Ric Flair used to blade, right, himself. He used to take a blade and make himself bleed in the ring, right?
Dude, I can send you the footage if you...
The reason why they're talking about Ric Flair is this right here. He got allegedly assaulted and then arrested because he got assaulted. It's very weird. This is how Canada works. If you're the victim of a crime, you go to jail just immediately. I think since this has happened, he has since been released, but here he is in a hospital, looks like, where these two individuals did get arrested. You have this old-timer veteran right here. Wild Bill Riddle, I believe is his name. This is Chris Dacey on Twitter posted about this. So it's just very unfortunate that the police have really chosen their side in history. This is very heartbreaking right here, but this is an image of a police officer pulling a Muslim girl's hijab, and it's haunting Karima's brain, which is insane. It's absolutely insane that this is happening. And all because of adding fuel to the fire, Justin Trudeau's divisive tweets that were specifically about this protest. Let me make one thing very clear. Transphobia, homophobia, and biphobia, which seems to be a made-up term, have no place in this country. We strongly condemn this hate and its manifestations. And he's specifically talking about the protests that were happening, about the Leave Our Kids Alone. And we stand united in support of the 2S LGBTQI plus Canadians across the country. You are valid and you are valued. Now, you can always tell someone's lying when they start off a sentence with, let me make one thing clear, or let me be clear, because that's a liberal staple. And finally, you have Pierre Poilievre's answer to this entire thing, which is phenomenal. I'm so glad that he spoke up. But here's the hidden video that not many people have really seen. This is Pierre Poilievre being interviewed and specifically asked about this 1 million person march.
Question number one is that what do you think about the 1 million person march, and will you be backing it or part of it?
I don't know yet enough about it. I understand that it's parents who are frustrated with government imposing contrary values on their children. My view is that parents should be the final authority on the values and the lessons that are taught to children. I believe in parental rights, and parental rights come before the government's rights.
Parental rights first. You heard him say it there. And if that wasn't enough, you hear him on Twitter, quote tweeting specifically Justin Trudeau's "Let me be clear" message. Justin Trudeau always divides to distract from all he has broken. This time, he is demonizing concerned parents. Parents should be the final authority on the values and lessons that are taught to children. Trudeau should butt out and let parents raise their kids. And this is such an awesome tweet because it's bringing a lot of people on board in support of this, this rhetoric. People have been backing this rhetoric for a long time, such as Billboard Chris, where he says, thank you for this subtle improvement in messaging. Parents should be the final authority, but Bill C4, which you voted for along with his predecessors, Bill C6, does not make them the final authority. They can be charged with conversion therapy for trying to help their own children feel comfortable with their sex. Gender identity is a myth. It's not enough to try to walk a fine line where you never discuss the wide-ranging issues of gender ideology and the abuse of child transition. Conservatives need to stop being afraid to address this issue. Everyday people from all over the political spectrum overwhelmingly agree that that children are never born in the wrong body, and that they want this toxic ideology out of our society. So it's a more critical tweet from Billboard Chris, but at the same time, he did start off by saying thank you for this subtle improvement in messaging, and it is a step forward. And to be honest, the Conservative Party of Canada does seem to be afraid of standing up for parental rights. They seem to be in the right place at the right time, always a little bit late. You saw that with Pierre Poilievre's support of the Freedom Convoy, where he kind of made an appearance towards the end, and James Top, but something about it didn't seem very genuine. And a lot of people caught on to that. A lot of people say, no, Pierre was very, very supportive of the Freedom Convoy. And you're allowed to have a disagreement on that point. But when it comes to gender ideology, it's great that Pierre Poilievre is finally chiming in, but you did see from the interview that he didn't know enough about it, whether that's smoke and mirrors or some sort of excuse to give him more time to research it and wait for the right opportunity. Irregardless, it's good to see that he's finally seemed to have picked a side instead of saying neutral, which is very important because gender ideology should, first of all, get that out of the curriculum. Stop teaching kids that stuff because parents don't want it to be pushed onto their children, and people are fed up. So, and unfortunately, it's become politicized. It shouldn't be, but it's become politicized. And you have Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, the kind of the rule maker, the head of Canada, saying that, no, we're keeping this in there, and we're actually doubling down on those chips and going to make Canada as woke as possible. So we need some resistance. We need an opposition. The Conservative Party of Canada is the official opposition right now, since Liberal is in power and Conservatives are not. So it's very important for a opposition party to be the opposition, and it's not a minority side. Standing up against this wokeness, standing up against this woke ideology, and Soji, you're not on the wrong side of history. You're on the right side of history, no pun intended. It's very, very important for the Conservatives to start. I don't care if it's a branding thing. I don't care if it's how a PR thing. They need to really get their chips all aligned, cross their T's, dot their I's type of thing, because it's picking up and it's picking up and it's picking up pace, it's picking up popularity, it's picking up momentum, and they really, really, really do need to chime in. And they start need to, making statements on the House floor. They start need to repeal some of the bills that they voted for, because there's a real opportunity for even more overwhelming support for the Conservative Party of Canada, specifically for Pierre Poilievre. He just needs to be more vocal about it. And there is an unfortunate thing that if you say something, you can't really take it back, right? We've seen a lot of that. And so Pierre Poilievre is, I'm assuming, this is an opinion piece, that he's waiting for the strategic way of approaching it. He's probably got a lot of people trying to figure out how to go about this, which is smart, but hurry it up, dude. Hurry it up. If someone knows Pierre or Pierre's team, send this clip to him. Hurry it up, Pierre. We need you on board with standing up against Soji and standing for parental rights. And as Billboard Chris did point out, that parents should be the final authority, but Bill C4 and Bill C6 does not make them the final authority, which is something that Pierre has apparently voted for. So maybe it's time to revisit some of those things and do what needs to be done. And of course you have woke leftist, other politicians standing up saying, if you needed more proof that Canada's Conservatives are no friend of the LGBTQ community and their allies, here it is. So this is a very important thing that really paints the picture as to why Pierre Poilievre is so afraid of standing up to this, because it's being branded as, you don't want Soji in the curriculum. You want to keep the kids alone. Leave the kids alone. If you say that, if you stand up for parental rights, you're now homophobic, transphobic, and as Justin Trudeau said in his tweet, you are biphobic or you have biphobia, which is not true. And those are just slanderous terms meant to, catch headlines and catch people's attentions and get people spooked as to the people that are on the receiving end of those things. Oh my God, he's transphobic. He doesn't like gays. Wow, we don't like that person immediately. And that's not the case. This has nothing to do with the LGBTQISL plus community. This has to do with children and protecting children's innocence. This should not even be a topic of discussion, which is why we need an overwhelming amount of support to stand up and advocate for this, for parental rights. So Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party of Canada have a very important decision to make. You're either all in or you're not in at all. You can't teeter-totter because people are seeing through it. And unfortunately, as much as I do like the Conservative Party of Canada, and I do consider myself aligned more with the conservative values, and I do like Pierre Poilievre, if that hasn't been obvious on this channel yet, I don't know what to tell you. But Mr. Sunshine Baby is a Pierre fan. However, I, as a new father, my child is turning 1 year very soon. I do want the party that I'm putting my vote for, or that I'm even supporting, especially with my platform, to be a little bit more vocal about this matter. Parental rights are extremely important, and this is a hill that people are willing to die on. This is something that you will not have parents push back on their beliefs of, okay, well, it's okay to teach a little bit of Soji. No. Get that out of the curriculum. Parental rights is where it ends. Case in point. So I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. How do you think this is for Pierre? Are you pro this? You think that Pierre did the right thing? Do you think it took him too long? I'd really love to know what you guys think down below in the comments, because this is so important. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so important. This is going to be a make or break deal, because if he ends up on the wrong side of this, it could really shift the polls in an unfavorable way for Pierre Poilievre. So love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. That's where we're going to end it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe if you haven't yet already. And thank you, Private Internet Access, for sponsoring today's video. Bye for now. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. If you want to support the channel financially, you can do so by checking out the merch shop linked right up there. Or if you want to do something for free, which is also absolutely acceptable and highly encouraged, you can subscribe right there. If you want to continue watching videos like this, you can do so by clicking or tapping right there to watch the next upcoming video. And if you want to watch a little bit of different content, but also Canadian stuff, you can do so by clicking right up there. That's my second channel, House of Canada, also known as the House of Commons Highlights. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.